All right, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This video we're going to go over the Friday, September 3rd MLB games. We have 15 of them, so that's going to be quite the adventure. There was a lot of fun games last night, a lot of important games in the playoff race, so it'll be fun just going through those. Before I do, just want to say fantasy football for the channel is taking off today. Draft is today. I believe we have one spot as of right now. Potentially, if someone wants to join, jump in our Discord. Should be in the description below and ask me for an invite. Draft is going to be around 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So if that's something that interests you and you've been a member of the channel for a little bit or even new to the channel, join the community there and etc. etc. Should be a fun adventure. But let's jump into it. 15 games, starting things off with the Cubs 6, Pirates 5. Talked about it. This game series doesn't matter, obviously, but power rankings rise. That's what keeps the power rankings fun, is that everyone game matters. And Cubs beat the Pirates here again after the Pirates yesterday. So Cubs were up 5-0 early. Pirates did actually tie this up 5-5 by the 6th. But in the bottom of the 6th, Cubs do answer back with a home run from Swindler, his 9th of the season, that gives them that 1-run lead. And the bullpens actually close it out from there. Hermosillo hits his 3rd, and Alford and Park hit home runs for the Pirates. I keep wanting to say different names for these teams, Penguins, whatever. Brault goes 5 earned runs, 4 Ks, and Mills goes 5.22 earned runs and 6 Ks, giving up 3 home runs. And we have Obtuse Juice, who's in here immediately. The Orioles are determined to get that #1 pick. I'm starting to be okay with it. Next year, we're going to be scary. Yeah. We'll see. We'll get to that in a second, but we'll see about that. Mets 6, Nationals 2. And the Mets had blown this game down the stretch here. They were up 2-0, put up 1 run in the second, 1 run in the third. Villar leading the way with a 4-hit RBI night. They also had Kevin Plauer with a 3-hit multi-RBI night. No home runs coming from these guys, but those guys getting a lot of hits, and the Mets put up 12. But the Nationals, they put up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to force extra innings. And from there, Juan Soto had a solo shot to lead that 9th off. And from there, the Mets put up 4 in the extras and didn't have to look back. 4 in extras usually gets it done. Rich Hill goes 6, 0 runs, 4 Ks. That's what they've been looking for and excited about Rich Hill on their team. Nolan, 5, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks. Again, both these teams are pretty much out of it. The Mets have clawed their way back to 500, but it might be a little bit too late. We'll see how the rest of this shapes up. Yankees 4, Orioles 3, and the Orioles were trying to play spoiler and trying to help the rest of those wild card teams out last night. They had a good effort. They just fell a little bit short. The Yankees were up 2-0. Stanton hit his 26th home run of the season to get the scoring started. They added another run in the 5th, but the Orioles, they answered back. Trey Mancini hits his 21st of the season coming in that 6th inning, and then in the 7th inning, Mateo hits another solo shot to tie it up. We see extras. Baltimore does get out to a lead in the 10th, but the Yankees answer back, and then we see in the 11th, Orioles get shut out, and the Yankees put up their lone run. Means goes 5, 2 runs, 5 Ks. Decent outing. Can't complain if you get a start like that from your starter every game. It's the bullpen that always concerns the Orioles as of late. No earned runs, though. Just 2 runs coming in the extras. Don't concern, of course. And Courts for the Yankees, 5.2, 1 run, 7 Ks. He was looking pretty good. But yeah, let's move on. Blue Jays 11, Athletics 2. And technically, right now, these guys they're battling for a playoff spot, but they're also like battling for 6th overall in the American League. Like maybe they'll be 1 out of a playoff spot with these two teams. They are at least in the power rankings against each other, and the Jays, for the first time in like, I don't know how long, they come back from a game where you would think they're down and out. The A's got out to a 2-0 lead immediately early in the game. Manoah was having some struggles early, but the Jays bail him out. Teoscar Hernandez hits a 2-run shot off Manoah in that 4th inning to tie it up. But then we see the A's start piling it on. 2 runs in the 5th, 2 runs in the 6th, and 2 runs in the 7th. Tony Kemp hits his 6th. Canha. Oh, that one comes later. And then Get to the bottom of the 8th. Jays are down by 6, and they do it. They manage to tie the game, putting up a ton of runs in that 6th inning, capped by a Lourdes Gurriel Jr. grand slam coming off Pettit in that 8th inning. So the Jays tied up in the 8th after being down by 6. We haven't seen a lot of comebacks like that from them this season, a big part of their issue. But in the top of the 9th, immediately, Canha hits a 2-run shot off Romano, which gives Oakland again a 2-run lead, and Jays fans have just got to be giving up at this point. I know I was pretty much giving up. I was not excited, but they find a way to get 2 guys on base. Springer hits a nice double, gets to second and third, and then Semien comes up in revenge of his former team, his 34th home run of the season, which is a career high for him. Got to be excited with that. A huge win for the Blue Jays. Still 5 games out, so still a lot of games to make up, but they have a chance. Manoah 5, 6 earned runs, 2 Ks, rough outing, and Manaea goes 7, 2 earned runs and 9 Ks. They decide to go to different pitching for the 8th, and that's what cost them, giving up the 6 runs there. The Jays game was incredible, such a comeback. Yes, it was. Red Sox 8, Indians 5, and the Red Sox keeping a hold of that second wildcard position with a big win here over the Indians. They were up 3-1 about halfway through. Indians put up 2 of their own in the top of the 7th with Hedges hitting a 2-run shot. But then Boston immediately answers back. They were going deep all night long. They had a 5-run 7th inning. Didn't have to look back. Indians did put up a couple more. Didn't matter. Schwarber hits his 29th play. Wecky his 2nd. Ruiz his 2nd. And Renfroe his 26th. So Renfroe's found a pretty good home here. He's starting to heat up, and he's starting to contribute the way Boston wanted him to. On the other side, we have Jose Ramirez 32nd and Hedges his 8th of the season. Quantrill 6, 5 earned runs, 6 Ks, and Evaldi 6.1, 3 earned runs and 9 Ks. Good outing for him. Ottavino's back in there in the middle. He's no longer closing. I think that with Barnes out for COVID, that was the case. And yeah, you have it there. Red Sox win it. Matt, welcome, man. The AL wildcard race is crazy. Totally agree, but we can't discount that National League side either. Speaking of that National League race, the Reds lose a rough one here, 15-5. Reds needed to kind of win. They got the Cardinals right on their tail now. It used to be just a race between them and the Padres. Now the Cardinals are involved there. Detroit pretty much out 4-3 about halfway through. It wasn't until that 6th inning where they pile on 6, and then in the 7th, 4 more that they just pulled away from the Reds' offense. Their bullpen has been that story all season long of being an issue. Scope 4 hit RBI night. Grossman had a nice 3-run shot in there, and then Calderario 4 hits, 2 RBIs himself. Just a lot of home runs coming from that side of the field. Suarez 25th, India his 18th for the Reds. Not enough. Alexander goes 3.2, 1 earned run and 5 Ks. Doesn't get out of the 4th inning, but bullpen does the rest. Gutierrez goes 3.4, 3 earned runs, 1 K, and then it's the bullpen for the Reds just completely falling apart and losing an important game here. But they have a couple of games left to try and make it up. The fact the Sox played so badly for almost a month and yet they're still on hold playoff, heck yeah. Got to give a lot of credit for the Red Sox there. Cardinals are starting to make the NL race super interesting. Honestly, if I had to redo my prediction video today, I'd probably switch to the Cardinals the way they've been playing. That's for sure. Next game up, Rays 5, Twins 3. Yeah, Rays just after being down 1-0, Rays they're a king team of coming from behind. Doesn't matter, late, early, whatever, you name it. The Rays can come back. No home runs. They just generated most of the runs. We got Cruz with the RBI in there, Meadows with a 2-hit RBI night. Doesn't matter. Anyone on that team can really get it done. Twins, Polanco hits his 25th to lead things off in the game, getting them that quick lead, but Jeffers hits his 12th in the 5th. But after that, they only had 1 more, and they fall short. Dobnak goes 7, 5 earned runs, 2 Ks. They put him out for length, but he doesn't hold the offense of the Rays down. Waka goes 6, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Waka, you don't know what you're going to get with Waka Waka, so Last night you got a good game. Another night he might get exploded. But Rays pick up a big win. They're pretty much got this division on lock, you would think, at this point. Matt says the Tigers will be a sleeper next year. Yeah, for sure. They're already climbing up our power rankings on the channel. They're 18th? That's pretty much in the hunt if it was a long season. Next up, Marlins 10, Phillies 3. And the Phillies, they had worked their way back after being down 3-1 in the first, worked it back to a tie in the 6th inning before their pitching just fell apart, and Gibson struggled very much, and Miami put up a 7 spot in the bottom of the 6th, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Sanchez, for them, hit his 7th of the season in that first inning. It was that 3-run bomb that gave them the initial lead, and Galvis had a solo shot in that first inning as well for the Phillies, his 10th of the season. But, Luzardo goes 5.2, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, and Gibson goes 5.1, giving up 8 earned runs. Rough outing for Gibson. They tried to push him. That seems to be a story for Phillies lately. They pushed their starter that one extra inning too much, and it results in that kind of thing. We saw it with Wheeler a couple games ago, and we see it now again with Gibson. But what can you say? The Phillies can't trust their bullpen on any given night. Royals 7, White Sox 3. And the Royals were at 7-0 about halfway through. White Sox couldn't get the offense going. They had a 6-hit night, but only scored 2 runs. No home runs coming from either side. Highlight for the Royals, Benintendi, 3-hit RBI night. He was a home run away from the cycle, so he made a run at that. We have Taylor also with a 3-hit, 3 RBI night. So it was the bottom of the Royals lineup getting a lot of it done. Keuchel goes 3, 5 earned runs, 1K. There's got to be some concerns with Keuchel going into the postseason. I would suspect he would be on the latter half of the rotation. Who knows how they're going to play that going into the rotation, into the postseason, but he has not looked great this season. 5.22 ERA. Hernandez on the other side goes 6, 2 earned runs and 3 Ks, picking up his 5th win of the season. Now 5-1. He's been a good add, good season for him so far. Really got to give him a lot of credit. Back to the Waka, looked decent last 2 games. Can't trust him though. Yep, exactly what I was saying for sure. Cardinals 15, Brewers 4, and guys, the Cardinals are back in this race. They're picking up a monster win, and they did it with a statement game, 15-4 over the Brewers. Nolan Arenado led the way. They got out 8-0 about halfway through, exchanging runs in the 7th, so the Brewers got it within 10-2 before Cardinals piled on 5 more in the 9th. And really, it's a good idea for them to do that because they're going to play the Brewers, obviously, the next couple games. They abused their bullpen a little bit, so they forced them to use a bit. So this might put them in a good spot for the next 2 games as well. We see Molina hit a grand slam in this one, his 9th of the season. We have Nolan Arenado get up to 29. He had 2 home runs in this game. Bader hit his 11th. O'Neill his 22nd. And Sosa his 5th. So home run books galore for the Cardinals. On the other side, we get none from the Brewers. Wainwright continues to do that Cy Young candidate kind of season that I talked about in my Cy Young video. Completely underrated season by him so far this year. He might not get the strikeouts, but he gets the innings and he gets the wins. 14-7 now in the season, 6.1 yesterday, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 2.91 ERA. He's pretty much been, if it wasn't for him this season, I would say the Cardinals would not even be close to a playoff spot. Peralta on the other side, 2 innings pitched, 4 earned runs and 4 Ks, and we see 6 home runs being given up by the Brewers last night. Cardinals offense, Arenado's here, Wainwright's pitching good, Molina's hitting grand slams. You got to be ready for them to make a threat at that last playoff spot. Rockies 4, Braves 3. And the Rockies are doing their part as a home team. They've been pretty consistent. They're 11 games below 500, and believe it or not, that's a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for at the beginning of the season. And they're playing spoiler against a Braves team that has taken over the division. They got essentially probably 8 games. They got laid on the Mets and quite a few on the Phillies who lost last night. So not a lot of pressure being on them. The Braves probably are going to come through with this division. But, these games, they might add up if they aren't too careful. Albus hits his 24th of the season for the Braves. They were out 2-1 at best. 3-2 after 3 for the Rockies. Blackman hits his 12th of the season in that first inning to add 1 run, and then they generate a couple of runs along the way. They exchange runs in the 6th. After Atlanta tied it up, Colorado immediately answers back, and that's pretty much it. Duvall had a triple in there, but he didn't really have much else going for him. It's Austin Riley. Potential, I've heard his name thrown around for MVP. I'm not sold, but thrown around, 2-hit RBI night for him. It goes 5.24 and runs 5 Ks. Everyone has a little bit of struggle at Coors, and no difference there. But Santazella goes 7, 3 runs, 3 Ks, giving up that 1 home run in the win for the Rockies. He always looks pretty good at home. CJ Cron quietly having a season. That's a good point. He's had a pretty quiet season too, but it tends to happen when you're on a Coors team that isn't doing super hot along the way. Angels 3, Rangers 2, not a whole lot to say in this game. Angels out 2-0. Texas answered back with 2 of their own in the second off a 2-run shot. Martin hitting his 6th. We have no home runs coming from the Angels. They just generate a 6th run in there in that 6th inning, and it's off Ohtani. He's getting blanked. His average is now down to 258. Can't quite put my finger on it, but something has to do with always going for the long ball. That's my opinion. Ohtani picks up his 9th win of the season, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, and 8 Ks. Guys making a case for a potential Cy Young, of course. And Otto goes 4.22 earned runs and 4 Ks. Ohtani's just one of those guys. He might not get the innings pitched or the wins, and that's been that kind of season. Iglesias picks up his 30th save of the season. Ohtani hasn't looked the same since the All-Star break. Yeah, definitely at the plate, but pitching he's been steady for sure. Mariners 6, Diamondbacks 5, and the Mariners pull it off. After blowing a 5-1 lead about halfway through, Diamondbacks put up 4 in the 7th to put it to extras. The Mariners are able to walk it off in the 10th. Henniger has a 3-hit multi-RBI night. He hits his 30th home run of the season. Kelenic hits his 8th of the season as well. He had a 2-hit, 3 RBI night. They need Kelenic to really figure it out because batting 158 is not going to get it done. He's supposed to be one of their up-and-coming players. On the other side, we have no home runs from the Diamondbacks. They just had that one monster inning. Bumgarner goes 6, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks, giving up a couple home runs. And Tyler Anderson, 6, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks. Kind of start that they were looking for when they traded for him. But the bullpen doesn't get it done. Doolittle goes in there and blows it. And luckily they bail it out. Mariners somehow, with a negative run differential, are still very much in this race. We cannot count them out because they have the pitching that can get it done, and the bats can get it done on any given day. So Mariners in the race. And now to the game that everyone probably had circled on their calendar. Giants 3, Dodgers 2. And these guys were tied at division lead going into this game. Tied playing each other 8-8, and tied in the runs scored when playing each other. Pretty interesting. Now it comes down to an extra inning game. San Fran was at 1-0 in the 3rd. And their pitching was looking great until that 9th inning where the Dodgers were able to put up 1 run to tie it. So we see a blown save on the Giants side. Luckily for them, they were able to bail him out in extras. They exchanged run in the 10th, as teams typically do in extras. And then in the 11th, they shut the door for the Dodgers and were able to score. That's McGee's 5th blown save of the season, coming in after Desclafani went 6, giving up no earned runs over 5. And the Dodgers on the other side, Newble had a 2-inning leadoff. It's just a bullpen style game for them. Phillips is going to get charged with the loss, and that might have been their downfall, going for the bullpen style. When the game goes late and you're doing the bullpen style, you're going to start running out of arms, for sure. What do you even do with Bellinger at this point? Just keep him for defense? That's a good question. He's been rough, but yeah, I don't know what I would do. Pretty much just got to keep him at this point for defense, and the power bat once in a while that'll come through, right? It's going to be a good series. You all know with the power rankings we do every Sunday, this is going to have big implications on who's in first, etc. So keep your eye on that. We'll do that Sunday, of course. Last game of the night, Astros 6, Padres 3. And the Padres just can't get anything going. They've had an atrocious last couple of months that have just fallen completely off the playoff race. And they're, I think, one game ahead of St. Louis now, something like that. They were at 1-0 before the Astros put up 3 in the fourth. It chipped away a little bit. No home runs again coming from them. So Slam Diego doesn't seem to be alive and well. There's definitely a lot of concerns there. They tied it up 3-3 after some generations, but then we see Houston put up 2 in the 8th and an extra insurance in the 9th. The 2-run shot in the 8th comes off the bat of Tucker, his 23rd of the season, and Carrera hits his 21st in that 4th inning. Urquidy goes 4.12 runs, 4 Ks in the no decision for them. And Arrieta, Padres, they're desperate when they sign Arrieta after being designated. 5 innings pitched, 3 runs, 3 Ks. He actually puts them in a position to win, and they just don't give him the run support. So that's pretty rough for the Padres, and that's just the playoff races we have going on these days. It's exciting stuff, guys. Exciting stuff. So this weekend's going to be fun. We got the Channel Fantasy Football Draft tonight, and we have Power Rankings, of course, tomorrow for Sunday. And I think I'm going to throw in a wild card update video as well to kind of give an update on the playoff races, specifically the wild card. So let me know what you guys think. Throw your comments, etc. in the bottom. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning for the next daily video, because we do these daily. Thanks for watching. Peace out.